This is the HPT.
Sit right down, put on your poker face. You with the big dogs now. Better bring your best game. Talk trash all you want. To me, it's all the same. You won't leave with much when you come in second place. I'm the one with the stack showing 7 to the jack. Gon' cry to your mama cause I'm sending you back. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand. Last man standing with the money in my hand. I'll be the last man standing with the money in my hand.
Hello everyone and welcome to the HPT. I'm James Larson. He's professional poker player Robert Williamson III. This week we conclude our event here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City. It's going to be fun tonight because we crown that new champion and that person's going to go home with just over $103,000.
A six-figure payday? I'll take that anytime I can get it myself.
It's been a great week here in Kansas City. We started with over 300 players and now we are down to our final 5. So with no further ado, let's head down to the Felt, meet those players, and take a look at that prize pool.
$449,000 worth of prize money. Of course, what everybody's chasing is that moment of glory, the $103,000, 326 first place prize money.
Your chip leader from last week, he put on a poker clinic, is Frank Patty, but right behind him, Daniel Lowry. However, Daniel had a few missteps to end last week's episode.
Can't double up the short stacks, Daniel.
All right, blinds are $15,000, $30,000 with a 4K ante. We're so happy you could join us tonight right here on the HPT. Under the gun here, the man from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Travis Remmer. And he's going to fold. Now we go over to Frank. Frank folds to Daniel. We go. Now pocket 4s for Daniel on the button. Good way for him to start tonight. Pocket pair on the button.
Easy spot to open raise from the button. Got position the whole hand.
Action of the small blind now of Aaron.
He's going to see a flop. It looks like, whoa, it's actually made a re-raise.
A 3-bet now to $200,000 with his king queen. Over to Matt now in the big blind.
And with 2 10s, I think we're going to see another raise. We sure did.
Look at this pocket 10s. Matt all in now. Action back to Daniel. Those 4s even look smaller after a couple of raises.
Yeah, I don't think the 2 4s or the king queen could call this.
So Daniel's going to get out of the way.
Action back to Aaron.
Action over to Aaron. We see King Queen played a lot here on the HPT, but not this time. Aaron's going to fold. So the winner of the hand is Matthew Lawrence from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Last year he placed 11th at one of our events and won just over $10,000. Tonight, the minimum cash for these 5 players right now, $22,913. Up top, though, $103,326.
Almost an $80K difference, a little more.
Action will start with your chip leader, Frank Patty from Gladstone, Missouri. Plans to start a college fund for his daughter with the money.
It's hard not to root for a guy trying to start a college fund for his daughter, right?
Finally, somebody that's going to put this money to good use. You and I always want to get it back in the middle. Action over to Travis Remmer. He's got $100,000 in career winnings. His best here on the HPT, 3rd place last year. Des Moines, HPT at Prairie Meadows, cash for just over $26,000. He makes the call, so we go heads up, Travis and Frank. Last week, Frank won just about every flop, every flip. Everything was going his way.
It just seemed like sometimes he was walking on water.
8-6 trade, couple of hearts. Travis checks over to Frank.
Well, once again, the flop doesn't fit either hand.
Turn card now.
The turn does.
Ace of clubs there. That fits Frank's hand just perfectly. Action on Travis. Travis checks over to Frank. Frank definitely going to make a bet here. Bet's $55,000. Probably be enough for Travis to get his cards into the muck.
Yeah, I can't see Travis thinking he could possibly have the best hand with king high, and he doesn't, and he folds.
Well, the song remains the same tonight here on the HPT. Frank wins another pot.
I'll tell you what, I'm getting confused. Is this the HPT or is this the Frank Patty show?
He is playing well. Things are going great for Frank, and we'll see if he can keep it up. He's got a long ways to go because 5 players remain. We can only have 1, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome back to the HPT final table, and we are down to 5. Things are heating up, and we don't want to miss any of the action, so let's get right back inside.
Chip count still on top, Frank Patty.
And Travis, Matt, and Aaron round out the top 5.
Up top, 103,326. I want to thank everybody here from this fantastic property, the Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City. It's been a fabulous week. Folded around now to Daniel, looks down at ace 10. Daniel has 3 kids at home, Christian, Jenna, and Regan. Wanted to say hi to them. He's going to raise to 75,000 with his ace 10. Over to Aaron now on the button. He's going to 3-bet now to 175,000 with his suited ace 4. Saw a lot of aces on last week's show. A lot of small aces, middle aces, ace 4, ace 7, ace 9. Saw a lot of range of smaller aces, and we saw the players play them a little aggressively. But remember, we're 5-handed now. So
that's right. Aces go up in value. Any ace, that is.
Travis folds, so back to Daniel, the original raiser here. And he's going to go ahead and make the call. So ace 10 going up against ace 4. Aaron versus Daniel. And the flop, 2 8s and a king. First will be Daniel, who's ahead in the hand.
Yeah, even though he is ahead, it's hard for him to know he's ahead. It's the only problem with calling with an ace 10, big re-raise pre-flop.
Well, Aaron bets 100,000. Daniel quickly makes the call. Pot of over 600,000 chips. Players aren't talking a whole lot tonight. 4 of clubs there on the turn.
Well, that's a really good card for Aaron's hand. Puts him in the lead.
So Daniel checks, Aaron checks. Both going to get a free card here as we go to the river. And the river card is the 9 of diamonds.
That seems to be a pretty safe card for that board.
Daniel with just ace high here.
190.
He's going to bet 190,000.
Once again, I think Daniel has too much showdown equity to no need to bet here.
190,000. Action over to Aaron.
But this is a tough call for Aaron, but I don't think that Daniel bet enough to get him out.
Wow, look at that. He
well,
folded his hand.
Shows you what I know, James.
Never really liked it. The winner of the hand, Daniel Lowry. Great story about Daniel. Only $375 invested in this event. So his return on his investment right now, if he's eliminated in 5th, he'll go home with $22,913. But I know he's thinking like the rest of these guys. He wants to be our next HPT champion. And folks, you can do the same thing. Check out our webpage at www.hptpoker.com. Find an event that will work for you, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. You've played a couple of these events.
I have now. I've played almost half a dozen now.
Are you going to make a final table one of these days, maybe?
Yeah, I think I will.
Practice makes perfect. Daniel's going to raise the 75,000 with his ace 9. Action over to Travis. Travis looks down at king 10. Travis and I live in the same city, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. That's right.
A fellow Hawkeye.
Hawkeye, yeah, we're Cedar Rapidians. Cedar Rapids is where dreams are made, let me tell you. It's a lot like Hollywood, California. Travis is going to make the call. That's what we do in Cedar. We make calls like that with king 10. Frank makes the call. So Frank, Travis, Daniel, 3-way here to the flop, and the flop is queen, 9-5, couple of spades. We'll start with Travis.
Well, a gut shot straight draw for Travis, but more importantly, Daniel caught the 9, has the middle pair.
It goes check, check, check. So we go to the turn card now.
All right, let's see the turn card.
It's another 9. So bingo, 9 of hearts. Good news for Daniel.
Yeah, now with this coordinated board, Daniel's got to get some money out in the middle. Keep any draws away.
Travis checks. Frank is going to bet 125,000.
I don't blame him. It felt like nobody really wanted this pot, but he's going to find out differently here shortly. I got a feeling.
Last time Daniel cashed on the HPT was way back in 2009, and it was only for 1,317. So trying to take this thing down tonight and go home with 103,326. He's going to raise it up, as he should, to 265,000.
Is the raise over to Travis. Once he folds.
Travis folds, and now over to our chip leader.
Yeah, Frank doesn't really have any draw here. I can't see why he would want to call this raise. But then again, what do I know?
You're not always right, my friend. He does make the call. Drawing absolutely stone cold dead here.
haven't been able to count chips all day.
This is our stack.
Keep in mind, these are 2 big stacks right now.
Oh, that's a bad card, actually, for Frank.
The 10 of spades comes on the river, so now 2 pair for Frank. He checks. And now I guess we call this a value bet, 430,000. And Frank's probably going to have to look him up.
Yeah, he bet about half the pot. Great bet sizing by Daniel right here.
Yeah, Frank's got to pay this off, and he's going to do it, and he's going to see he's up against 3 of a kind. Daniel wins that hand, but most importantly, he's now our chip leader.
Tell you what, he extracted that last big bet when the 10 came on the river, and now Daniel is on top.
But I got a strange feeling we're going to see a lot more poker and a lot more fireworks down the stretch. Blinds 15,000, 30,000, 4K ante. It's your old pal James Larson, alongside professional poker player Mr. Omaha, Robert Williamson III. What's an Omaha guy doing sitting here at a hold'em table?
This is just half Omaha. That's
true. It's kind of the same. All right, we start with Travis Remmert. He's a computer consultant. That covers a lot of different jobs. In some ways, I'm a computer consultant.
I guess that's true.
Action over to Frank. He's going to raise it up to 65,000 with his queen 10.
Frank, ever the aggressor.
65,000 is the raise.
Matt looks down at 9-8. You know, Aaron to his left and Matt, who we're looking at, these guys haven't said a word the entire night. Baseball caps on, staring down at their cards. They haven't said a word.
They have been awful quiet.
I mean, I can't keep quiet. I mean, I can't go. Even at the poker table, I'm talking the entire time. All right, heads up now to the flop, Frank and Matt. Flop is ace, 9-8, rainbow.
Well, that's a great flop for Matt. Flop's 2 pair. But Frank's got jack for gut shot straight.
Cutter ball possibility. Matt checks. Frank bets 55,000. Action over to Matt. Maybe thinking about a raise. Probably doesn't like the ace. He's going to make the call.
5,000 and a call by Matt. Give me heads up. Let's see the turn card.
Turn card now the 5 of clubs.
5 of clubs is the turn card. Matt's going to be first.
Action to Matt. Still not talking. Still not smiling. He is breathing.
I think Matt is in trapping mode here. I don't think he's really afraid of Frank's hand at all.
70,000 is the bet. Action over to Frank. Now Frank has a lot of chips, so 70,000, why not?
Well, he's, like I said, he still has a straight draw.
Yeah, exactly. And the river card is the tray of diamonds.
Well, now all Matt can do is, how much do I think I can get Frank to call and bet that amount? Maybe like 150, 175, something like that. Less than half, though, of the pot.
Matt's going to bet 185,000.
That's in the wheelhouse of ranges that I would have bet.
And Frank is going to quickly fold. So Matt Abraham from Overland Park, he's a used car dealer. Listed his career earnings at 0, where that's all going to change tonight. If he wins, he'll go home with just over 103,000. We'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome back to the HPT. I'm Robert Williamson III, joined by my partner in crime, James alias Jimmy Larson.
Now all of a sudden I have an alias and I'm your partner in crime? Come on, man, give me a break. And you're the one wearing the crazy jacket.
I'm only criminally insanely dressed.
All right, we'll go with that. It's been a great week, though, here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City. And tonight, we're giving away a lot of money. Up top, just over $103,000 to our champion. Let's pick up the action. Chip counts look like this, and look, Frank Patty not up top anymore. What happened?
Daniel beat him out of that big pot, but I'll tell you what, Aaron Wilt down to only 300K, a little more. He's going to have to make a move pretty soon.
Yeah, just 4% of the chips in play, so yeah, he's looking for a hand to double up. Blinds are 15,000, 30,000 with a 4K ante. 5 players remain. They're all so close to becoming our next HPT champion. I know they can feel it. They can taste it. Daniel's going to raise it up to 75,000 with his ace deuce. Now over to Matt on the button. Looks down at 6-4. He's going to fold. To Travis in the 1 seat. 9-6 offsuit. Just no luck for him. Last week, this week, no cards.
Do have to have a little bit of luck to win these things.
He's just been card dead. Now over to Frank. Ace Queen, maybe a 3-bet here, Robbie?
Absolutely. As aggressive as he's been playing today, I would be shocked if he doesn't. Well,
or a flat.
I guess I'm shocked.
Can do that too. He can simply make the call, you know. All right, heads up, Frank and Daniel, your 2 chip leaders going to the flop. Oh boy.
Wow, what a flop. Both of them flopped 2 pair.
Danger, Will Robinson. Ace, Queen, Deuce. Yikes.
Wow.
Frank checks and he's setting the trap, and Daniel is going to bet 90,000.
Yeah, I don't know how Daniel he could possibly get away from this hand. Sometimes this is just what happens.
The buzzsaw's coming out of the woodshed. It's coming. Now a raise to 240,000. Look at Daniel. I think Daniel thinks his hand is good here.
Absolutely, I would too.
Sure, you just flopped 2 pair. You didn't get re-raised. Now he's going to go to 540,000. Frank loves every second of this. The buzzsaw's about to be exposed. I think it's going to happen on this street right here. Let's get them all in the middle. I'm losing track. Is that a 4-bet? Are we at a 5? Where are we at?
Bet, raise, re-raise, re-raise, re-raise.
We're up to 1.14. Keep in mind, these are our 2 chip leaders at the table.
I'm all in.
Daniel's all in. Frank has to call. And Daniel sees the news. Ran it right into the buzzsaw. Ace Queen, Ace Deuce. They both flopped 2 pair. An unbelievable turn of events. Turn card, the 6 of diamonds, and now the only thing that can help Daniel is one of the remaining deuces.
Other than that, Frank's going to get the giant double up, 6.6 million in this pot.
Have we ever had a double up like that on the HPT?
First chip, oh wow.
River card, 4 of diamonds. So the winner of the hand is Frank. He's going to go into a commanding chip lead now. They both flopped 2 pair. Unbelievable.
Well, you know, both of these players have played a lot of hands. They've really been active. This was bound to happen.
Well, Robert, I'm kind of speechless.
Yeah, I think Daniel's the one that's really speechless right now.
And you know, we've got to talk about the money because that's why we're here. You know, the next person eliminated is going home with just under 23,000. First place, just over 103, and second place, 65,000, 415,000. So a costly move there for Daniel. Travis in the 1 seat again on the button. Just nothing going for this poor guy. He's picking up good blackjack hands, though. He's had a couple of 10s, some 11s. Frank's going to raise to get Daniel all in. And look, Daniel picks up pocket jacks. Look, Daniel's just not happy, though. Look at the guy. He's very upset. He lost the majority of his chips on that hand. He's all in here for his tournament life. He is ahead with his pocket jacks. Him and Frank probably not going to be Facebook friends after this.
No.
I could be wrong. And look at that. Ace 10-9, just like that. I think Daniel knew it. He just knew it. What a turn of events. Still 2 streets to go. But Daniel staring down the barrel of a 5th place finish. Deuce of diamonds. He needed that a couple of hands ago.
Yeah, he sure did. But now the only thing that can save him is a jack, or Daniel's going to be out.
Wow. Unbelievable. It's a 4.
And for the second time at this final table, we've had the chip leader get knocked out in 2 hands.
This is going to be a tough walk to the cage. But, you know, not for nothing. The good news, he invested just $375 to get into this main event. He's going home with $22,913. But, boy, this one's going to sting for a while.
Yeah, I think he's not going to be so happy today. But tomorrow when he wakes up and he has an extra almost 23K in his bank account, I think he'll get over it.
All right, action now in the 1 seat. Travis looks down at 10 tray. He's going to fold from the 1 seat. Now we go to Frank on the button. Everything going right for this young man. He looks down at Ace Jack on the button. He's going to raise to 360,000.
That's enough to put Aaron all in. He has to call off all his chips, and he does.
He's going to do just like that. Frank, the one-man wrecking machine. They flip over the cards. It's Ace Jack against King 10. Aaron trying to double up. Look at that. Travis is happy. He might see another elimination. He's just going to backdoor his way up some more money.
Every time one player gets knocked out, you move up the pay scale.
Maybe it's good he's not catching any cards. He's just being a spectator, making money doing that. And the flop is Queen 6 Deuce Rainbow.
Jack of spades. Jack of spades.
First time I've heard Aaron talk all night.
Jack of diamonds or the 9 of spades.
It's funny how people
Jack
call
of
for
diamonds
cards. I get a kick out of it. Let me see the 3. Let me see the 9. It's never the same card, though. Deuce of spades there on the turn, so
now Aaron's got some extra outs. Not only will a king or a 10 save him, but a spade will too.
Let's see the river card. 10 of clubs.
And with the 10 of clubs there, Aaron will double up and win the hand and keep his tournament hopes alive. Well, earlier this year, we set sail with our friends from Card Player Cruises aboard the Oasis of the Seas. What a fabulous vacation it was. Lots of poker and lots of fun.
HPT teams up with Card Player Cruises each year for a week-long voyage through the Western Caribbean. We've sent home plenty of poker players with monster paydays, and you could be next. Here's a few words from one of the players who made last year's final table.
My name is Donna Lawton, and I live in Ogden, Utah. When I'm dressed up, typically people are assuming that I'm tight, and that's fine. I try to use that to my advantage. Like yesterday, you know, I won a hand with a 7 tray, and so then when I end up having to turn those hands over, then my image kind of goes out the door. But I love that I'm seeing more and more women playing poker, and the fact that there's 4 women at the final table, it makes me very happy and very proud.
In addition to the prize money she earned for that finish, Donna also earns a seat into the event of her choice later in the HPT season. Log on to cardplayercruises.com to find a cruise that fits your schedule. More final table action coming up next, right after this commercial break.
Welcome back to the HPT final table here in Kansas City, Missouri. We're at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, and we're down to 4 players who have had no rest. They're grinding away nonstop, trying to be crowned the next HPT champ. Let's go back inside and check out the action.
Chip counts look like that. It's the Frank Patty Show. We might have to rename this instead of the HPT, the Frank Patty Show.
Today it truly has been.
Matt, Travis, and Aaron rounding out the group, so 4 players left. We will crown a champion tonight, and that person will go home with $103,326. Love four-handed poker. It's so much fun to watch as these 4 players under the microscope. First to act here is Travis in the 1 seat. Picks up Queen Tray. Talked about this last week and tonight. Just no cards for Travis. Just card dead.
Yeah, and he's been playing pretty conservative. Kind of surprised that he looked down at Queen 3 and decided to raise here.
He's going to raise it up to $100,000. He figures he's got to play a hand sometime. Wouldn't want to play it against this guy, though. So Frank's going to raise to $235,000 with his King 5 of spades on the button.
And Aaron Wilt looks down at ace-10 and mocks it.
Nobody wants to get in a hand with Frank. Frank's a one-man wrecking machine. Action over to Travis now to make the call. I think he's just getting frustrated. He wants to see a flop. And he is going to make the call here with his Queen Tray. Travis out of position, making this raise and the call. So it's Frank and Travis.
Well, eventually when you get bullied and bullied and bullied, you kind of buck up sometimes. I think that's what he just did.
Flop is 8-5-4, couple of diamonds, so a decent flop for Travis as he flops the flush draw. He's going to check over to Frank. Frank hit his 5. Frank always hits something.
He has a piece of every flop, it seems like.
Frank bets $175,000.
This might be a check raise all in. I'd like that play by Travis on a drawing hand.
All in?
So he's going to do exactly what Robert said, the check raise all in. And Frank's going to quickly make the call. Why not? Let's get rid of another player.
And just like that, here we go. Travis needs a queen or a diamond, or he's got some runner outs as well.
All right, we go to the turn card now. It's the 7 of clubs.
Well, I gave Travis a few more chop outs. Now a 6 will get him half this pot. But otherwise, if a queen or a diamond doesn't come on the river, we're going to lose another player.
Travis standing up, knowing this could be his last card at this final table, and it is. It's the Tray of Hearts, pairs his hand, but it's not good enough. Frank's going to win the hand and knock out yet another player. But not for nothing. Travis going home with a nice payday here, $30,551. He finished 3rd at Prairie Meadows. Now he's finishing in 4th place, adding to his HPT resume as he heads back to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. It's James Larson and Robert Williamson III broadcasting from the Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City. 3 players remain. We started with 312 entrants, a prize pool of over $449,000.
Call.
That's going to make the call here in the small blind.
I'm a little surprised once again that he didn't raise here.
Frank checks the option. And over his shoulder there is the chainsaw. Alan Kessler in the background. All right, the flop, 2 5s and a 4. Matt's going to check over to Frank. Frank's going to, he bets. He's always betting. He's always got money in the
Constantly the aggressor. Constantly.
50,000 chip bet over to Matt now. You know, Matt's thinking, do I want to put more chips in the middle here?
Matt's got to think he's got the best hand. That flop doesn't fit a lot of different hands.
Turn card now is the 8 of hearts. Over to Matt. Matt checks.
Well, the only problem now is he's going to start thinking Frank does have something because he keeps checking to him.
You got to remember, it's Frank, too. It's Frank, after all. 125,000. Frank is just on cruise control right now. Everything's going his way.
Even when he doesn't have it, he's convincing his opponents he does, and Matt folds the best hand.
So I think there's something to be said about this battle for second place.
Yeah, I think that's what the style they're playing right now is. Who's going to get second?
I mean, you never want to give up, Robert, but man, I don't have an exact count. But let's just say Frank has a lot of chips.
He has a vast majority of the chips, and it does feel like these two players are fighting it out for second place, like they're just giving him the first place money already.
And once again, he's going to raise it up. I look up, I look away. He's always raising. He's always winning a hand to raise it. Raises to 80,000. Matt's going to make the call with his King Jack. So it's Queen 4 going up against King Jack. 3 players remain here at this nationally televised final table. The flop is ace, 9, 8, a couple of clubs.
Well, no fit for either hand.
So we go check, check. Now over to the turn. And look at this, Robert. The Jack of Spades comes on the turn. Good news for Matt.
That does fit in Matt's hand very nicely, but gives Frank a gut shot straight draw for the 10.
Matt checks. Frank bets 90,000. Matt thinking, can I win a hand here?
Call. And Matt makes the call. All right, heads up here.
Matt makes the call. We go to the river card. It's the 7 of diamonds.
Puts 4 cards to a straight out there. This might slow the action down a bit.
Matt checks. We'll see if Frank can make a big enough bet here for Matt to lay down his hand. 200,000 chip bet.
Yeah, I don't think he bet enough to try to bluff Matt out of this pot.
No, I think you're right. I think it needed to be a little more than that. And he's going to get looked up here. Matt's going to make the call. Well, Robert, one of us needs to call security. Frank finally lost a hand.
And before that, he was on a real heater. I'll tell you what, but Matt finally interrupted him.
We're seeing some great poker tonight here on the HPT. Want to remind you to check out our webpage at www.hptpoker.com. Find an event that will work for you. Come on out and say hi to Robert and myself, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing on the nationally televised final table. We'll be back with more action right after this. Welcome back to the HPT. This week we're at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City. It's James Larson and professional poker player Robert Williamson III. But before we get back to three-handed final table action, I'm curious, how do you like the new gig so far?
I love it. I mean, not only do I get to hear myself talk, but I get to wear these fancy new threads.
He is kind of an odd fellow, but welcome to the show. It's been a lot of fun, and we're going to have a great year. 3 players left, Frank, Matt, and Aaron. Frank with a commanding lead.
And he is using his stack just to whip on the other players.
So when we talk prize money tonight, up top, $103,326. Second place, $65,415. Third place, $43,805. So all the players very happy. They're all in a good position. But what would you rather have? $43,000 or $65,000? $65,000 or $103,000?
Answer that one too.
So there's a lot on the line. Every decision, very calculated, very important. But we talked about Frank Patty. He's got so many chips. It's really going to take a lot for one of these players to come back. But I've seen it. I've seen it here on the HPT. It can be done. It just takes 1, and then 2, and then 3 double-ups. But you can get there. And Matt makes the call from the small blind now. It's the option for Frank.
Oh, he only has one option. It seems like that's raise.
He's got 1 gear now, and I like it. It's a raise now, going up to 100,000.
But at some point, Matt's got to take a stand. I mean, you can't just let Frank run right over him.
Yeah, Frank with 10-5 offsuit here. And now he's just playing his chip stack, playing his opponents, and he's being the bully. I like it. So Matt makes the call. We go to the flop. It's 6-4 tray, rainbow.
A little something for both of them. Matt flopping bottom pair, Frank flopping an open-end straight.
Matt checks. Frank's going to bet 100,000 chips. Action over to Matt now.
And the call by Matt.
Matt makes the call. He's a used car dealer from Overland Park. He listed his career earnings at 0. I can't be right. And look at this turn card, the deuce of hearts.
Wow.
Cue the fireworks.
I mean, it not only gives Frank the straight, but it gives Matt the steel wheel draw. A 5 of hearts and he'll have a straight flush.
Frank has the best hand right now. He's got the straight. Matt drawing to the flush and the straight flush draw, as Robert just told you.
And also a 5 for a chop pot for Matt.
All kinds of options out here. It's $250,000 now for Matt to make this call. And he's not going anywhere, Robert.
$250,000 and the call.
Matt's thinking, maybe I could get some vindication on Frank here, finally.
That's up here. Let's see the river card. 5 of clubs.
And after all that, kind of an anticlimactic river card, the 5 of clubs.
Not so anticlimactic for Matt because it gives him the same straight finally.
Now, it's always interesting to see when this happens with a straight on the board, if we'll see a bet, maybe an all-in.
All in.
Matt says all in.
And that's what Matt's going to do.
This actually is a tough call for Frank. I mean, Matt could have a higher straight.
So, Robert, what does Frank do here? I mean,
majority of the time you have to call because he can afford to lose the chips. If he didn't have as many chips as he has, it's $1 million to win half of a $2 million pot, which now it's 3 with the call. You got to make that call.
no, if it's for your tournament life, you have to say, all right, does my opponent have a 7 here? Because if he does, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think it'd have been a different situation there. I might have actually probably folded if that had been for my tournament life. But a good call all the same by Frank.
All right, Robert, the blinds are 20,000, 40,000 with a 5K ante. 3 players remain at this nationally televised final table. Aaron on the button is all in with his ace straight.
And look at this. Matt's woke up with an ace king. Big slick.
Now remember, we kind of thought these guys were battling for second or third. What does Matt do here?
Well, I think he's got one move. One move only, and that's all in.
I'm interested to see what Frank's got. Frank's getting out of the way, so the 2 short stacks going to battle it out. Ace-king going up against ace-straight. It's Matt versus Aaron. We could be down to heads up after this hand. Matt does have Aaron covered in chips, so Aaron must improve or he will be eliminated.
And Matt's currently ahead in this hand.
And look at that, right in the window, the king of diamonds. It goes king, 5, 4.
A straight draw for Aaron all the same. A 2 can get him out of this.
Matt in the lead with his kings, confident, happy. Aaron's going to need running cards or a deuce to improve. Otherwise, he's going to be eliminated in 3rd place. And we go to the turn card now. It's the Queen of Hearts.
And now only a deuce can save Aaron's day.
Matt is still in the lead. Aaron's going to need...
We could be 1 street away from heads-up poker, ladies and gentlemen.
Make it 80 and maybe 4.
He will be out in 3rd place. Let's see the river.
Little emotion from each player, and now we go to the river. It's the Jack of Clubs, and folks, that is going to do it. Matt wins the hand. Aaron is eliminated, going home with a very nice payday, Robert, $43,805.
Yeah, I think that'll help console him down the road. Only disappointment today. Tomorrow, I bet he's going to be very happy with his performance.
It's heads up poker. Frank taking on Matt. We'll see if Frank can continue his quest to be our next HPT champion.
Hey all, welcome back. I'm Dana Workman here in Kansas City, Missouri for the HPT final table at the Ameristar Hotel and Casino, and we are now heads up. Each of these players are guaranteed at least $65,000, with the first place winner taking away $103,000 and coveted title of HPT champ. Let's get right to it.
There's the chip counts. The numbers don't lie. Frank Patty with a commanding lead.
And Frank has truly been dominant today. He is putting on a clinic.
He's played well. The decks hit him right in the face. Everything's going his way, and he looks so comfortable. He's looked comfortable at this final table from the minute he sat down when we were 9-handed. Now he's talking to his opponent. We haven't seen a whole lot of banter today, but he looks very laid back. I would be too. He's staring down the barrel of an HPT title and just over $103,000.
And with a commanding chip lead.
It's got to feel good to be Frank right now as he raises to $80,000 with the Dolly Parton 9-5 of clubs. And Matt's going to make the call. I'd like to see Matt get a little aggressive here. You know, raise him back a little bit. Raise period, I guess.
Yeah, he needs to do some more 3-betting for sure.
And the flop is Queen 10-4. Good news for Frank. 2 clubs on the flop. Everything's going his way.
I mean, does this guy miss a flop? He gets a piece of every flop.
Matt's going to check. Frank bets $100,000. I don't know what's going through Matt's head here.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a flop that fits Matt's hand at all. I guess he's trying to float him. Maybe thinks he can take the pot away from him on the turn. No, he actually raises on the flop.
The 230,000 is what he's doing.
Well, I think it's just pure thievery. I think he's just trying to steal this, but Frank's got a flush draw, so he's got to call.
He's poking the bear a little bit here. Frank's going to make the call.
All right, Frank, 230,000 and a call. Let's see the turn card.
All right, we go to the turn card now. It's the 8 of spades. Very interesting card there on the turn.
Truly is an interesting card because now Matt has fell into a draw. He needs a 5 or a 9 for a straight. Gives Frank a little more flexibility too because a jack makes him a straight.
Don't forget Frank's got the clubs as well. So a lot going on in this hand, and Matt's going to lead out. 315,000. I like it.
Yeah, the only problem is he's going to get called for sure. But the good news is, if it comes a blank on the river, very good chance that Matt could take this pot down.
Oh, I'm not sure we're going to get to that point, my friend.
Frank says, you're not taking my pot.
That's the nice thing about having so many chips. You can make moves like that as he raises now to 800,000.
And you can afford to be wrong.
And Matt is going to fold.
Turn card kind of helped me too. Turn card kind of helped me.
Oh, the turn card kind of helped Frank too.
It kind of did. It kind of did. So once again, Frank wins another pot. It's James Larson, Robert Williamson III, broadcasting from the beautiful Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City.
I didn't think it was
up top, $103,326. Second place, $65,415. On the button with all the chips. About to raise is Frank. He's going to raise to 80,000.
He hasn't missed too many raises today.
He really hasn't. He has not missed much here at this final table. I still want to give him $1 and go buy a Missouri lottery ticket. Chop it. I'll give him 80%. I just want to be in on it. I want the guy to go buy it. Yeah.
I get a little piece too. Come on.
No, not a problem. All right, the call has been made by Matt. We go to the flop. 2 7s and a 10.
Wow. And Matt finally outflops Frank.
And this could get dicey here because Frank flopped a 10 for 2 pair 10s and 7s. Matt with 3 of a kind.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see some chips exchange hands on this spot.
It'll be interesting to see how Matt plays this. Finally, he's got a hand. Now you've got to get the most chips you possibly can from your opponent. And the turn is the 8 of hearts.
And that card also gives Frank a straight draw to go with his 10.
So how do you want Matt to play this? Looks like he's going to check. Both players are going to check.
It's too coordinated of a board. I don't like giving free cards, Matt.
And now the river card is the 4 of hearts. So we just got to figure out what's a good bet here. Half the pot?
Half, maybe a little more. You might want to make it look like a bluff. Maybe 220. If it's too small, it looks like you want a caller.
And Matt's going to bet 220,000. Start calling you Nostradamus over there. Maybe I'll get you to buy the lottery ticket. You might know the numbers. Action over to Frank. He might think his hand is good here.
Yeah, and honestly, Frank's got to pay this off.
No raise, though. He's just going to make the call. And they're going to flip over the cards and see that Matt has 3 of a kind, 777s, and takes down the pot of 780,000 chips. He's thinking, all right, a couple more of these and I'll be right back in this thing. Or a couple dozen more of these to catch up to Frankie. It's been great to be here at the Ameristar Kansas City property. 140,000 square foot casino, 184 hotel rooms, 2,200 slots, 66 table games, and 7 dining options. What a week it's been. I know you've spent a lot of time in the Great Plains Cattle Company, which is the name of the steakhouse here. Fantastic steakhouse, great seafood and steaks. I want to thank everybody here at the Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City. So Matt's going to raise to 80,000 with his 9 deuce. And Frank's going to make the call with 10 tray. Mixing it up a little bit, as you have to do in heads-up poker. Absolutely. And the flop is 8-4 tray, couple of spades. So once again, Frank picks up a piece of this flop, flopping bottom pair. He's going to check over to Matt. See if Matt's going to want to continue, as it looks like he does. Matt's going to bet 75,000. That's not going to be enough for Frank to go away. I don't think Frank's scared just yet. The turn card is the 10 of spades. Well, that's a great card for Frank, that it makes him 2 pair, but
It also puts 3 spades out there. He might be a little cautious about there being a flush out against him.
Both players checking. We go to the river now. And that river card is the ace of clubs. So we'll see if there's any betting here on the end. Frank reaching for chips. He's got 2 pair, and he's going to bet 200,000. And Matt is quickly going to get out of the way. And we're going to step aside for a quick commercial break. But when we come back, I promise you, we're going to crown a new HPT champion. Don't go too far. Welcome back to the HPT. I'm James Larson. He's Robert Williamson III. We started with over 300 players, and now we are down to our final 2. It's heads-up poker. Now, I know we've talked about Frank a lot on tonight's program, but for good reason. Everything's going his way.
Well, Frank's played a lot of hands. He's constantly been the aggressor, and I'll tell you what, he's ran pretty good too. He's hit every flop.
And we'll see if that continues, and if it does, he'll be our next champ, going home with just over $103,000 in cash. 2 players left, the same 2. Nothing's changed since the commercial break. Frank Patty still in the lead. What does Matt Lawrence have to do to get back in this thing?
I'll tell you what, he's going to have to become more aggressive. He's going to have to raise and re-raise. He's got to play the same game that Frank's playing against him.
I agree. You know, you've got really nothing to lose. Give it a shot. We'll see if we can channel that down to him at the final table here. He looks down at 6-5, little blackjack hand. He's got to be feeling pretty good, though. A nice little payday for him, no matter where he finishes. Up top, 103,326. Second place, $65,415. It's a raise to $80,000 by Matt. Unfortunately, ran that right into the ace tray of our friend Frank, who typically has the better of it. He's going to make the call.
All right, let's see the flop.
Frank thinking, all right, maybe I'll just let him bluff all the way down on this thing. The flop is Queen, Jack, 7, Rainbow.
Well, not a great flop for either person, but since Matt's got the whip, if he just continually bets, he's going to take this pot down.
Frank checks over to Matt now.
75,000.
The bet is 75,000. Frank, a quick call here. He knows he's got an ace in his hand. He knows he's playing heads-up poker. That, and he knows all the momentum is going his way.
Oh, wow.
Hello, Ace. How are you today? Welcome to the table.
That's a bad card for Matt's hand. Now he has no outs. And Frank's check it to him again. Could see Matt bluff off some money here. I've got a bad feeling for him.
The ace of spades comes on the turn. As choreographed almost for Frank's night. It's like everything is set up for this guy. Set up perfectly. So it goes check, bet, call, and that was 85,000 by Matt. Frank is playing this hand perfectly. And the river card is the ace of clubs. So, Robert, the rich getting richer here on the HPT.
I'll tell you what, this is actually a pretty bad card for Matt. It might induce him to make a bluff at it. Well, no, he avoids that.
Both players check. And they put the cards down, and Frank is going to win yet another pot here at this nationally televised final table. Blinds are 20,000, 40,000 with a 5K ante. James Larson, Robert Williamson III, broadcasting from the Ameristar Casino Hotel, Kansas City. Make sure to check out our webpage at www.hptpoker.com. It's a raise now by Frank, going up to 80,000 with his 10-8 of diamonds, and a king in the hand here for Matt. That might be enough for a re-raise. We'll see. King deuce.
He's definitely contemplating his action.
It is definitely a re-raise. It's going to go to 215,000.
Well, Matt's finally fighting back, but King Deuce, not the best of hands to be doing that with.
Action on Frank. Frank's thinking, how can I wrap this thing up? I want to be the next HPT champion, and most importantly, I want to go home with the cash. 103,326 up top. So the call has been made by Frank. We go to the flop. Right in the window there, the deuce. Oh, look at this. 10.
Oh, a 10 also, though.
Deuce. Boy.
I'll tell you what, Frank caught another flop.
They both caught a piece of this. This could be disaster here for Matt. He paired his deuce.
Yeah, it may be hard for him to get away from this, really. He's got a lot of chips in his pot already. Caught a piece of it. This might be tough for Matt to get away from.
And Matt hasn't had a whole lot of luck, so he's thinking, all right, I paired my deuce. Maybe this is good. And now Frank is all in.
Frank says all in. All in on the
Yeah, I kind of suspected that we'd see an all in from Frank. Now it's just a matter of can Matt deduct that he's behind? With his 2 hearts on the board, he might think he was against a heart draw, and then that would make him have the best.
The call has been made. Sorry to interrupt, but the call has been made. It really doesn't matter what anybody thinks now. We flip over the cards, and folks, this could be it.
Matt did finally decide to fight back, but he fought back and didn't get a good flop. So
look at Frank, still cool as a cucumber.
This is it right here.
Jack of hearts now on the turn. Neither player with a heart draw.
But only a king or a deuce can save Matt. Otherwise, Frank's going to be our new champion.
He'll be our champion and go home with a whole lot of cash. We go to the river card.
Ace of clubs.
And the river card is the ace of clubs, and that's going to do it. We've got a new HPT champion. Frank is going home with the cash and the title. No surprise to you.
He truly put on a clinic tonight. Led pretty much from start to finish. And I'll tell you what, I loved his style. He's a fabulous player and great to watch.
Give credit to Matt. He played very well, and he's going home with just over $65,000 for second place. But Frank, the champion, goes home with the title and just over $103,000. Now, if you're watching this and you think you have what it takes to play on the national stage, why not give it a shot? Check out our webpage at www.hptpoker, and who knows, maybe you'll be playing for the life-changing cash. For Dana Workman, he's Robert Williamson III. I'm James Larson, and we'll see you next time on the HPT.